This is a magical animal world where the little animals have human forms. This big lion is staring straight at a little white rabbit. The little rabbit is shivering with fear. Suddenly, the big lion grabs the little rabbit by the ears. Do you think he intends to make the little rabbit his dinner? That's completely wrong. He's actually pondering how to win over this adorable little rabbit. On the first day of school, the little rabbit, Lai, is tragically blocked by three carnivorous animals. A big gray wolf, with a cigarette in his mouth, presses down on the little rabbit, smiling with ill intent. Little brother, where are you heading? While stepping on the little rabbit's ears, the little rabbit bravely tries to puff himself up and shouts, I am a very fierce rabbit, don't mess with me. Saying this, he starts swinging his little fists. The cute and silly appearance causes the three carnivorous animals to burst into laughter. Little rabbit, let me show you what a real fist looks like, he said. Then a powerful punch was swung towards the little rabbit. Suddenly, the air went silent. Then, the sounds of the three carnivorous animals were heard. Trembling, he called out boss, and the little rabbit opened his eyes, only to be startled by the sight. He found himself being held by the ears by a big lion. Lifted into midair, and the big lion was staring at him, evidently plotting something. Suddenly, the lion noticed the carrot earrings on the rabbit's ears, paused for a moment, then loosened his grip, causing the little rabbit to fall straight to the ground with a thud. He tenderly touched his ear in pain, moaning, my ear hurts so much, are you okay? But in the eyes of the little rabbit, the lion's concerned look appeared as a terrifying face with bared teeth, ready to devour him. The rabbit screamed and ran away at the speed of a 100-meter sprint. Carnivorous animals are so scary, the rabbit thought as he ran away. Watching the rabbit's fleeing figure, the big lion, Mu Wei, reminisced about his childhood. It really is him. Wow, no wonder he's the boss, his expression is so powerful. As Mu Wei's adoring fan, Rabbit Sun praised him endlessly. Mu Wei couldn't believe it. Was that really an expression of prowess just now? Sun continued to flatter, truly an expression befitting a monarch, a look of superiority overall. The big lion helplessly holds his forehead, it seems he just scared the little rabbit. You're late for class, run 50 laps as a penalty. The big lion begins to settle accounts with these three carnivorous animals that bully the weak. Wow, how handsome. The hunk who enchants all the female students is none other than the class monitor, Lu Wei the Antelope. Lu Wei and the little rabbit Bailey greet each other and head towards the classroom together. Lu Wei tells the little rabbit, if you have any trouble adapting to the new school this season, feel free to come to me. The little rabbit suddenly remembers the incident from yesterday morning when he was bullied by three carnivores and a big lion. He says with grievance, there was a lion with a scar on his brow, very scary. Lu Wei pats his shoulder and comforts him, you're talking about Mu Wei, aren't you? If it's him, you have nothing to worry about. Just then, the little rabbit bumps into someone ahead. Rubbing his forehead, he looks ahead to see that the school has posted a new notice, and all the students are gathering around. The little rabbit, with his small stature, can't see the content of the notice board even on tiptoes. Unexpectedly, Lu Wei lifts him up high, and the little rabbit, startled, asks Lu Wei to put him down. Lu Wei, with a smile in his eyes, says, no worries, just take a look at what's posted. The little rabbit looks and sees that it's a disciplinary notice for the three herbivores that bullied him yesterday. Lu Wei puts him down and says, it must be the lion's doing. He patrols that road often to prevent such bullying, a pretty great guy indeed. It turns out that yesterday he wasn't bullying me with those three carnivores, he was actually saving me. I misunderstood him. The little rabbit began to sink into deep remorse when suddenly she heard enthusiastic shouting ahead. It was the big lion and other carnivores playing basketball. The little rabbit hid behind a tree. Watching from a distance, the big lion lifted his shirt to wipe sweat, revealing his attractive abs. This charmed the female students nearby, which made the little rabbit speak crudely, but her eyes couldn't help glancing at the big lion's abs. The boss, that rabbit is here, declared the big lion's avid fan, Sun Rong, upon spotting the little rabbit, and loudly informed his boss. The big lion, Mu Wei, looked over upon hearing this, and indeed, it was the little rabbit he had been longing for. He stared at her continuously. The ball in his hands dropped to the ground with a thud as Mu Wei approached the little rabbit, Bai Li. The little rabbit originally came to thank him for saving him yesterday, but the rabbit was really too timid. Seeing Mu Wei getting closer and closer, he trembled all over and broke out in a cold sweat. Mu Wei stared at the little rabbit's small hands, thinking they were so small and cute. Then he noticed the carnivore-specific drink he was holding. It seemed he really came to see him. Mu Wei felt even more delighted. He approached the little rabbit and grabbed his hand, examining the little rabbit up close. The little rabbit was in a panic and also heard the lion's intense heartbeat. Oh my God, does he see me as his prey? Just as Mu Wei began to speak, the little rabbit ran away in a hurry. I just wanted to get to know you, Mu Wei shouted at the little rabbit's retreating figure. Our poor lion stood there pitifully. He felt very guilty for scaring the little rabbit again. A little rabbit had actually saved a little lion. The lion in front of him looked completely dejected. He had scared away the little rabbit he had been thinking about twice in a row. He took out a handkerchief from his pocket, with a cute little rabbit embroidered on it. He stared at it blankly, his thoughts drifting back 10 years. At that time, the lion was still an ignorant and playful young lion. He had wandered into a leopard's territory, and the fierce leopards beat him up badly, demanding he hand over valuable items. It was then that the little rabbit appeared. Holding a wooden stick, the little rabbit shouted at the 3 leopards to let him go. Facing 3 strong carnivores? The little rabbit was clearly very scared, but it didn't retreat even half a step. Instead, it rushed forward and took a fierce bite at the head leopard. Then the little rabbit was punched and sent flying by the leopard. Even so, the little rabbit still didn't back down, protecting the little lion behind it. It nervously closed its eyes and shouted, I already called the police. You rob kids and beat people up. The police won't let you get away with this. Seeing the 3 leopards leave cursing, the little rabbit finally couldn't hold on any longer and collapsed to the ground. The little lion asked worriedly, Are you okay? The little rabbit wiped away a tear and pretended to be strong, saying, Oh, of course I'm fine. Are you hurt? Saying this, the little rabbit took a handkerchief out of its pocket and started bandaging the little lion's wound, advising, Territorial instincts of carnivores are very strong. You're still young, so it's better not to wander around. The little lion, with its big watery eyes, asked, Aren't you a kid too? The little rabbit was taken aback and said, I'm just trying to build my courage. I only wander around occasionally, but I can run fast. Suddenly, the little lion saw that the little rabbit's face was injured. Just as it was about to reach out, even though it was still small, it was still a carnivore, so the little rabbit quickly dodged away. The little lion was about to explain, but the little bunny turned and ran away. The little lion stared in disbelief at the little bunny's distant figure. I was actually saved by a little bunny. Next, please enjoy the cunning antelope Lu Wei's tricks to win over his future wife. Watch as this punch can take down a ferocious carnivore. None other than the antelope Lu Wei. The big lion Mu Wei persuaded from the side, You should avoid these hooligans in the future. Lu Wei lit a cigarette with a fluid motion and said nonchalantly, It's these scum who see me, a herbivore, and come to provoke me. If I don't hit them, who will? The big lion was truly embarrassed. You really are the same from childhood to adulthood. You were like this as a human too. The 2 walked back, and along the way, the big lion always seemed like he wanted to say something but stopped. Finally, he couldn't hold it in any longer and spoke awkwardly. Hey, I heard there's a new student in your class. Lu Wei, with the cigarette dangling lazily, responded, Yeah, I think so. What's up? The big lion awkwardly continued, I just wanted to ask, do you know what rabbits like? Do they just eat grass like you antelopes? Lu Wei teased, Why, are you becoming a vegetarian? The big lion, annoyed that he didn't get any information about the little rabbit and was mocked by Lu Wei, unhappily pushed Lu Wei aside. Both of them were startled as a big head blocked their way. Sun Rong the lemur hung upside down from a rope, swaying and grinning at them. He then leaped to the ground with excitement and asked eagerly, Boss Mu Wei, I saw you rushing over here. Did a fight break out? What happened? Mu Wei glanced at Lu Wei beside him and snorted coldly, It's all because of this guy. Sun Rong widened his eyes in surprise, looking at Lu Wei the antelope, It's you again? A sly look flashed in Lu Wei's eyes, but he quickly turned pitiful. He coughed weakly, his body trembling, and put on a pitiable expression. He said in a low voice, Thanks to Mu Wei, if it weren't for him, I would have been bullied by those bad guys again. Then he put his hand on Mu Wei's shoulder, full of gratitude, Thank you, Mu Wei. You always have to trouble yourself for me. He covered his forehead, looking like he was about to collapse, and said with great pain, I feel so bad. As she spoke, she fell forward. Be careful. Sun Rong caught Lu Wei, who was breathlessly lying on Sun Rong's back. Sun Rong sighed helplessly, It's always like this, always getting bullied. Boss has saved you so many times already. Look at all these injuries. Next time just come to me, I can cover for you. Lu Wei secretly flashed a triumphant smile, continuing in a weak voice, Thank you, you are really reliable. Sun Rong chuckled, Of course, I am a carnivore after all. Protecting herbivores is only natural. Mu Wei watched as Sun Rong carried Lu Wei forward with difficulty, exclaiming, Lu Wei is a devil. Is teasing Sun Rong really that fun? It's been a year and you're still not tired of it. Big Lion Mu Wei sighed, wishing he had Lu Wei's cunning. Just as Big Lion was contemplating, the little bunny started sneezing one after another. The little rabbit rubbed his nose, thinking, who keeps cursing me today? My partner is being bullied, I'll help you teach them a lesson. Gathering courage, the little rabbit went to dine in a mixed restaurant. The restaurant was full of carnivores, making the rabbit feel timid. But he made up his mind to toughen up, so he could thank Big Lion Moo Wei. The little bunny joyfully munched on a hamburger, completely unaware that Big Lion Moo Wei was right behind him. Upon seeing the little rabbit, Big Lion was so stunned that he dropped the chicken leg he was holding, spilling his coffee all over his clothes. He wondered, with the little rabbit being so timid, how it came to mix in a mixed restaurant. Then he remembered how, 10 years ago, the little rabbit had saved him by standing in front of 3 fierce leopards, protecting him behind itself. Despite being very timid, it did what seemed impossible. That's the little rabbit's style. The big lion grew fonder of the little rabbit the more he looked at it. At this moment, the little rabbit's attention was fully captured by 2 loudly bickering carnivores. A big gray wolf was twirling a dagger, and with a whoosh, the dagger plunged straight into the hamburger in the little rabbit's hand. The little rabbit was so scared that it didn't dare to move, trembling uncontrollably. The 2 carnivores laughed arrogantly and domineeringly, while also not forgetting to taunt the little rabbit, scared the little bunny baby to tears. The big gray wolf then pulled out another dagger, smiling maliciously at the little rabbit. My hand slipped just now. Let me try again. A shadow loomed over the big gray wolf, who turned around and instantly changed color. Seeing our carnivore boss, the big lion, Moo Wei, glaring fiercely at the big gray wolf. The big lion grabbed the gray wolf with one hand, his voice stern, do you know what a restaurant is for? If you're not eating, get out. After speaking, he directly threw the 2 annoying carnivores out of the restaurant. The little rabbit stared pitifully at the limited edition hamburger it had finally managed to get, wondering whether to pull out the knife and make do. Feeling someone staring at him, he suddenly looked up and, to his surprise, it was the big lion. The little bunny was instantly shivering with fear, stammering, unable to speak clearly. The next second, the big lion reached out to the little bunny. The little bunny nervously closed its eyes, instinctively trying to dodge, but the big lion just gently grabbed its hand, wanting to check if the dagger had hurt its hand. When the little bunny opened its eyes, it found that the big lion wasn't as scary as it had imagined. Indeed, there was a wound on the little bunny's hand, and the big lion said with heartache, you are hurt. The little bunny was shocked and hurriedly tried to stop him. Don't do this. Still worried, the big lion said, it would be bad if it got infected. Let me take you to the infirmary to get it bandaged. Before the little bunny could react, the next second, it was already held in the big lion's arms. The little bunny's face instantly blushed, not daring to look at the big lion. It was the first time the big lion had held the little bunny. Looking at the shy and cute little bunny in his arms, he couldn't help but blush too. The big lion really went out of his way to make the little bunny happy. The little bunny was bullied by 2 carnivorous animals in the mixed restaurant, and the big lion directly threw them out of the restaurant. Seeing that the little bunny was injured, he held the little bunny and came to the infirmary. In the infirmary, the big lion was seriously bandaging the little bunny's wound and even tied an incredibly cute bow. The little bunny was very grateful, but he felt that such a small wound being bandaged like this was a bit too exaggerated. After finishing bandaging the wound, Moo Wei finally breathed a sigh of relief and said that now he didn't have to worry about an infection. The little bunny was very touched and for the first time called out, Moo Wei classmate. He reached out to wipe the sweat off the big lion Moo Wei's face. The big lion Moo Wei couldn't handle such stimulation and jumped up in surprise, his fur standing on end, as he leaned against the wall and stared dumbfounded at the little bunny. The little bunny was also puzzled. What's wrong with you? Moo Wei finally came to his senses, blushing and scratching his head in embarrassment. And nothing, I'll go check if the doctor is back. With that, he left in a hurry. He didn't even notice that the small notebook in his pocket had fallen to the ground. The little bunny curiously picked it up and opened it. The notebook surprisingly had Little Bunny Hunting Plan written on it and detailed information about the little bunny. The little bunny thought the big lion saw him as prey and was scared out of his wits. Meanwhile, the big lion grabbed the doctor's hand and rushed back to the infirmary. Doctor, quickly check his wound, the big lion said, only to be surprised to find Little Bunny actually hid herself in the bedding, shivering non-stop. The doctor said it might be an infection from the wound and asked Little Bunny to stay overnight in the infirmary. And Big Lion had no idea that Little Rabbit was scared because she saw his notebook. Big Lion took up carving as a hobby. He carved many little bunnies out of carrots. Oh, a bunny's ear broke off. Moo Wei stared at the strangely shaped carrot bunny. Still, there was a look of satisfaction in his eyes. He mumbled that it didn't matter, it still looked like him. He admired the freshly carved, crooked carrot bunny. Self-praising that there was still much improvement to be made, he encouraged himself to keep going. Big Lion carved Little Bunny out of love, continuing to carve carrots. Let's take a look at what an exemplary boyfriend looks like. First, who dares to bully little bunny? Just see if our big lion will beat you up, that's it. Secondly, little rabbit has a small cut on her hand. Anxious, she rushed to the infirmary holding little bunny. Third, trying always to cheer little bunny up, preparing a loving breakfast for little rabbit with all his heart. But big lion, why does your smile look so creepy? No wonder you've scared little bunny into running away every time. So, to woo a mate, one must start with practicing their smile. Thus, our big lion practiced his friendly smile in front of the mirror over and over again. Meanwhile, little bunny accidentally saw big lion's hunting plan for little bunny written in a notebook, which scared her into staying in the infirmary all night long. Hearing a knock on the door, she opened it to find our big lion holding a carefully carved bouquet of carrot flowers in front of her. Little bunny was totally flabbergasted. Looking at the strangely shaped carrots, she thought, is he planning to fatten me up before eating me? Terrified, she said, classmate Mue, actually I'm not very hungry. So, gurgle gurgle gurgle. Before little bunny could even finish her sentence, her stomach started growling non-stop. Little bunny was immediately embarrassed, and big lion was also stunned for a moment. Then he moved closer to little bunny and said considerately, your hand is inconvenient, right? Let me feed you. Little bunny repeatedly refused, saying, no, it's convenient, I can. And with that, she quickly picked up a carrot. With tearful eyes, he began to nibble bit by bit. He silently screamed in his heart, why does everyone think rabbits must love carrots? This is prejudice. Actually, carrots taste awful. The lion looked at the silently crying little rabbit and thought, is the little rabbit moved by me? The way he chews the carrot is too cute. Feeling the lion's gaze, the little rabbit couldn't help but glance back at the lion. The lion quickly flashed the kind smile he had practiced countless times this morning, but the little rabbit was still frightened by the lion's smile, his face changing color. He quickly turned his back and gobbled down the carrot in his hand at the speed of light, hoping to finish early and leave soon. What's this? Sun Ron's little brother actually dared to challenge Mue, the boss? The story begins when the school announced the mixed dormitory plan for carnivores and herbivores. The timid little rabbit, Boylove, wanted to train his courage and thought this activity was perfect for him. Holding the registration form, the little rabbit started to worry again. Where could he find a carnivore to share a dormitory with him? Just when he was pondering, a soccer ball flew straight towards the little rabbit. Seeing he couldn't dodge it in time, the rabbit could only tightly close his eyes. At the critical moment, a foot suddenly appeared in the air, kicking the soccer ball away instantly. Following that was an angry shout, hey, how are you kicking? You almost hit someone. Xiao Mianzi opened his eyes and hesitated as he looked at his lifesaver, stepping forward to ask if that wasn't Mue's classmate by his side. Seeing it was Xiao Mianzi he had helped, Sun Rong excitedly interrupted, oh, it's you. The new little brother big brother recently took in. The little rabbit was quite puzzled by little brother. Sun Rong nodded, yeah, yesterday I helped big brother carry a sack of carrots. They were for you, right? The big brother Sun Rong spoke of was naturally the big lion Mue, his loyal little fan. Sun Rong saw the mixed dormitory registration form in Xiao Mianzi's hand, looking puzzled. Oh, you want to sign up for this with big brother? The little rabbit shook his head vigorously, then said with lackluster interest, although I really want to get along with classmate Mue, I'm too timid. I wanted to use this activity to become braver, but didn't have the right partner. Sun Rong, ever so familiar, put his hand on Xiao Mianzi's shoulder and volunteered, then why not choose me? Without waiting for the little rabbit's response, Sun Rong had already snatched the registration form from Xiao Mianzi's hand and swiftly signed his name on it. He also righteously told Xiao Mianzi, as a carnivore, big brother's little brother is my little brother too. I've got your back. Meanwhile, Big Lion was fuming, what's this about Zili and Sun Rong signing up for the same dorm? The dormitory manager confirmed, yes, the two of them signed up voluntarily. This is also the core principle of this activity. You want Zili to live with you. So you decided for me. On the side, the Antelope Luwei was speechless, looking at the registration form handed to him by the big lion, who said, actually, I really didn't want to, but with limited dorm spots, I had to choose you as a last resort. Ling Yang Lu almost crushed the registration form in his hand. The big lion couldn't care less about Lu Wei's attitude. Just thinking about Sun Rong made him even angrier. That brat Sun Rong dares to poach from me. Help me think of a way to get Zili back. Oh my, the two old lovers hiding behind the tree were shocked. When did their own spouse become so close to the other's spouse? Not only are they sharing the same dorm, but they are also inseparable all the time. Little Bunny Bai Li was cheering excitedly for Sun Rong, who was playing basketball. Sunrong turned and waved enthusiastically back at him, giving a big thumbs up and an approving nod. Hiding behind the tree, Lingyang Lu turned entirely dark. He stared at Sunrong with a gloomy and resentful expression, feeling even more annoyed, as if his toy was being taken away. Meanwhile, the two were completely unaware, continuing to interact enthusiastically. The little bunny even bought a drink for Sunrong, which made the big lion Mu Wei extremely envious. Mu Wei watched Sunrong take the drink, and then watched the little bunny smile at Sunrong, feeling utterly dejected. It seemed like the little bunny had never smiled at him like that. "I'll help you get Zilly back." The big lion was mulling over his sadness when he heard Lingyang Lu's gritted voice. Our Lingyang could no longer stand it. He started plotting how to get his toy Sunrong back. The little bunny and Sunrong walked and chatted as they went. Suddenly, they saw three carnivores bullying the antelope Lu Wei. Sunrong didn't say a word and rushed forward to punch one of the carnivores. Upon seeing this, the hare quickly ran over to help Lu Wei up, while Sunrong, furious, yelled at the three carnivores, "How dare you bully someone under my protection? From now on, you're not allowed to bully herbivores. Do you hear me?" The three carnivores were also enraged. The big gray wolf held its forehead and viciously yelled back at Sunrong, "Playing for real, huh? You really think I'm afraid of a little runt like you?" A fierce light shot straight towards the three carnivores. The three carnivores were instantly scared out of their wits. This was all part of Antelope Lu Wei's plan. Just a few hours ago, Lu Wei intercepted the three carnivores, telling them to start bullying him as soon as they saw Sunrong and Bailey approaching. This request terrified the three carnivores. They pleaded, "Boss Lu, how could we dare to bully you?" Lu Wei glared at them and said, "Less talk, just do as I say." The three poor carnivores were shocked by a herbivore and reluctantly said, "Got it, boss." Boss Lu Wei looked down at them and said, "Good, now start reciting your lines. Sunrong, you're amazing. We can't beat you in 24 hours, but Lu Wei, you better have Sunrong follow you around 24/7. If you end up alone, you'll be sorry." The poor trio, under Lu Wei's command, nervously recited their lines in front of Sunrong, then quickly turned and fled. The term fox exploiting the tigers might perfectly describe Sunrong and Lu Wei. Sunrong shouted at the fleeing trio, "How dare you threaten people?" He then made as if to chase after them to teach them a lesson, but was pulled back by Lu Wei, who put on a weak and helpless expression. "Forget it, maybe they were just saying it," Lu Wei said pitifully. Sunrong, now more concerned, argued, "How can we let it go? What if they were serious? Better safe than sorry. I can't just follow you around 24 hours a day. Maybe I should find out who they are." Lu Wei shakily stood up and sighed, "No need. Besides, staying together for 24 hours isn't that hard. Didn't they organize an event where carnivores and herbivores share a dorm? Lu Wei, your trick of playing dumb to catch the tiger worked brilliantly. But your fox's tail is showing." Our poor Sunrong had no idea he was being completely outsmarted by Lu Wei. On the first day of the great lion Mu Wei living with his wife, our big lion had already started to get a nosebleed when Mu Wei saw a rabbit doll placed on Bailee's desk. He picked it up, looked it over from left to right, and thought it looked so much like Bailee. "They're both so cute." Bailee, who was tidying up nearby, saw this, and was shocked. That was his own prototype. He yelled, and the big lion was instantly startled. The toy rabbit in his hand was instantly crushed by the big lion. Oh my, this scene terrified our little rabbit Bailee, fearing one day he might also be crushed by the big lion. "It's all over," the big lion felt he had caused trouble. He apologized repeatedly with a sorrowful face, saying, "I'm sorry, it was an accident. I'll compensate you." Seeing that the big lion Mu Wei didn't do it on purpose, the little rabbit, though still frightened, still generously forgave him. "It's okay, I made it myself. It's not valuable. I'll just patch it up later." The big lion was smitten, gazing at the little rabbit Bailee, and felt happy discovering another side of Bailee. "I've finished tidying up." The little rabbit had his area neat and tidy, which shocked the big lion. What to do? His own side was still a mess. "Let me help you then." The little rabbit began to help the big lion make the bed. But the big lion pulled hard, causing the little rabbit to lose balance and fall directly onto the bed. The big lion was immediately shocked and hurriedly apologized, Sorry, I used too much strength." "Are you okay?" The little rabbit staggered up from the bed and said it was okay, but our big lion still stood there, feeling very guilty. Finally, with their combined efforts, the entire room became very clean and tidy. The big lion planned to move his fitness equipment out. The kind-hearted little rabbit quickly came to help. However, not paying attention, she was tripped by a barbell on the floor. Luckily, the big lion was quick to catch the little rabbit. And the little rabbit's collar slid down halfway in the process, causing our innocent big lion to have a nosebleed instantly. But the little rabbit, seeing the big lion's nosebleed, had no idea it was because of her collar. She even asked if the big lion had hurt his nose when she bumped into him. The big lion quickly turned away, covering his disobedient nose, saying it wasn't that, perhaps he accidentally hit it while moving the dumbbells. The little rabbit considerately handed him a tissue. The big lion was so embarrassed that he couldn't even look at the little rabbit, simply closing his eyes. The first morning living together with his partner was like this. And like this. The big lion bashfully washed his face. Then, with a clear mind and high spirits, he starts to shake his lion's head, accidentally splashing the innocent little bunny, Bailey. When the big lion snaps back to reality, he realizes that he has splashed the little bunny all over. Feeling very embarrassed, he quickly uses a towel to dry off the little bunny. The little bunny, covered by the towel, is speechless. One would think that the big lion and the little bunny had a bad enough first morning, but unexpectedly, the pair next door is even more exaggerated. Lu Wei, with a full head of frustration, carries the still half-asleep Sun Rong to class. Upon a closer look, one can even see Sun Rong's drool on Lu Wei's back. The school specifically arranges for students in mixed dormitories to be in the same class. The first class is a baseline test, and the little bunny is a true academic overachiever. These questions are really too simple for him. He steals glances at the big lion, Mu Wei. Mu Wei looks so handsome while concentrating on the test. The big lion and the little bunny go to the cafeteria to eat together. But on the way, the little bunny realizes that all the herbivores they encounter hide away from the big lion. Turns out everyone keeps their distance from Mu Wei. But big lion Mu Wei is really nice and wouldn't hurt herbivores. Why does everyone treat Mu Wei this way? The little bunny starts to feel a bit heartbroken. The big lion Mu Wei senses the little bunny's mood change. Mu Wei turns his head and asks, "What's wrong?" The little rabbit didn't know how to start and could only shake his head and say it was nothing. Arriving at the mixed restaurant, the big lion deliberately chose the seat that the little bunny liked before. It turned out that the big lion had always been paying attention to him. But thinking about how he had treated the big lion before, he felt really guilty. He lowered his head and sincerely began to apologize. "I misunderstood you and avoided you before. You are such a good person, and I still treated you that way. I'm really sorry." "It's okay, it's normal." The big lion, who was used to it, didn't take it seriously at all. This made the little bunny feel even more remorseful. He indignantly said, "This is discrimination. You're such a good person. It's so unfair to treat you this way." Mu Wei did not expect that Zili would defend him like this now. Though he said, "It's really okay," his heart was already blooming with happiness. Seeing that Zili still looked indignant on his behalf, Mu Wei began to feign a look of grievance, saying, "Being seen as a bad person sometimes does feel very lonely and hurtful. I can't even sleep well at night. But hearing you say this makes me very happy. So, if you could be closer to me in the future, I would be even happier." Really, Zili felt that Mu Wei really had it tough. He sincerely looked at Mu Wei and solemnly promised, "I will definitely treat you well in the future." Beside them, the antelope Lu Wei heard their entire conversation clearly and couldn't help but marvel that Mu Wei was also starting to be savvy. The wife personally cooks for her husband and even feeds him herself. What kind of experience is that? This segment is simply too sweet. Lu Wei plans to go out for lunch with Sun Rong. Lu Wei planned to go out for lunch with Sun Rong to enjoy some time together. However, the clueless Sun Rong turned around and invited their older brother Mu Wei to join. Lu Wei looked frustrated. On the other hand, the big lion Mu Wei smugly said, "Sorry, we brought our own food." Upon hearing this, Sun Rong fell off his chair, exclaiming, "No way, boss, your cooking skills." Sun Rong didn't know how to criticize his older brother's cooking. Lu Wei quickly responded, "It's made by Zili, right?" Indeed, it was the little rabbit Zili who cooked it. The food looked so appetizing even through the screen. Sun Rong stared intently at the delicacies in front of him, exclaiming, "There's even meat." Zili scratched his head shyly and said, "Actually, it's all artificial meat. I wanted to make some real meat dishes for Mu Wei, but he refused. I always feel bad making Mu Wei eat things he doesn't like." Mu Wei seized the opportunity to impress the little bunny, saying, "No need to feel bad. It's all for the sake of our two tribes getting along and living in harmony. Eating less meat is no big deal." This self-sacrificing speech made Zili's affection for Mu Wei rise to a new height. Zili eagerly pushed the food container in front of Mu Wei and said, "Try it, please. If you like it, I'll make it for you every day." The antelope Lu Wei stood expressionless, watching Mu Wei's performance and silently mocking him in his heart. Unable to stand it any longer, Lu Wei grabbed the drooling Sun Rong and started to leave. "Want to join us?" I specially prepared this for you. Bailey quickly called out to Lu Wei and Sun Rong. Song Rong happily started eating without a second word, picking up his chopsticks and paying no attention to the big lion glaring at him fiercely. The big lion's face was so dark, it almost looked like the bottom of a pot. He glared at Lu Wei and with his eyes, told Lu Wei that he could handle it all by himself, no need for them. But Lu Wei stuck out her tongue at him, signaling she wouldn't leave. The big lion started to eat, clearly annoyed. He just took a bite and his eyes lit up. This is so delicious, he exclaimed, giving multiple thumbs up to Zilai, who was overjoyed. Subconsciously, he fed a shrimp to the big lion, who was stunned by the sudden happiness. Then, as he bit down, the little rabbit chased after him happily, asking, "How is it? Tasty?" The big lion nodded repeatedly. Suddenly, the little rabbit realized what she had just done and turned around, her face blushing with embarrassment. Lu Wei, however, saw the whole lovey-dovey scene clearly. Never one to be outdone, Lu Wei turned to Song Rong, who was wolfing down his food, and said, "I just twisted my finger and can't eat by myself. What should I do?" The words "feed me" might as well have been written on Lu Wei's face. But Song Rong, true to his nature, jumped 3 feet in the air at her words, excitedly saying, "Really? Then I'll help you finish it." Saying this, he directly moved the food box in front of Lu Wei away. Oh, how angry Lu Wei was. Oh my, whose hand is this that actually tore someone's clothes to shreds? The one whose clothes got torn and fell heavily was the little rabbit Bailey, and the owner of that hand was the big lion Mu Wei. But the big lion is inherently kind and didn't mean to tear the little rabbit's clothes. He was just too excited while teaching Bailey how to play ball and didn't control his strength, which led to this accident. Even though it was unintentional, he still tore the little rabbit's clothes and caused him to fall. He couldn't forgive himself. He had been upset the whole day. No matter how the little rabbit tried to console him, the big lion remained dejected and self-reproachful. He even went so far as to clip his claws. The big lion taking it so seriously was quite a shock to the little rabbit, who also began to feel guilty. He ran to the next dormitory to find Sun Rong. "It's all my fault for not stopping Mu Wei in time. How can a good lion be without claws?" Sun Rong, upon hearing that their leader lost his claws, jumped off the bed to find Mu Wei, but was stopped by his tail being caught by Lu Wei behind him. Lu Wei said to Sun Rong, who had hit the ground, "What's there to talk about with 2 cats? Besides, Bailey came to you for a reason, right?" Only then did Sun Rong realize and looked at Bailey inquisitively. Bailey asked worriedly, "I just wanted to ask, what happens if a carnivore doesn't have claws?" Song Rong comforted Zili, saying it wasn't a big deal. "It's just that among carnivores, one might be looked down upon, but the boss doesn't have to worry about this. When the boss gets excited, the kids just run out. When Tianimu gets excited, his claws come out unconsciously. When Dada gets excited, he even catches several basketballs. Everyone hopes he can pick them up. Moreover, the boss's claws grow very fast, so there's no need to worry." Song Rong was speaking enthusiastically when he found his own hand stuck. Suddenly, Lu Wei confronted Song Rong, asking, "What are you doing?" Lu Wei stared at Song Rong, saying, "Look, Mu Wei was afraid of hurting Bailey, he even cut his nails for you." Song Rong instinctively shouted, "Not at all. I need my claws to protect you." Upon hearing this, Lu Wei immediately froze. As a genuine carnivore, Song Rong is committed to protecting herbivores, proclaiming to protect the antelope Lu Wei 24 hours a day. This is also why Song Rong and Lu Wei share a room. While they were messing around, the big lion Mu Wei arrived. Upon seeing his boss, Song Rong immediately let go of Lu Wei. Lu Wei, feeling resentful, firmly hugged Song Rong in his arms. At the same time, he was quite displeased, glancing sideways at the big lion and secretly cursing the insensitive guy. Our big lion's attention, from start to finish, was always on his little rabbit Bailey. He smiled at Bailey, saying, "It's almost lights out, let's go back." Back in the dorm, Bailey gently took the big lion's hand and made a very solemn promise to him. "I will take responsibility. Before your claws grow back, I will protect you." The big lion was amazed. He didn't expect that just picking up a claw would touch the little bunny so deeply. It was worth it. This claw trimming was really straight. The big lion was working out in his dormitory. He saw the little rabbit Bailey drawing, and the big lion peeked around to see what Bailey was drawing. But Bailey stubbornly covered his drawing, not letting Mu Wei see it. Mystery was in the air as Bailey said to Mu Wei, "It's a secret. You'll know later." Our understanding big lion decided not to interrupt Bailey's drawing. He pushed open the door to the neighboring dormitory, intending to work out in Sun Rong and Lu Wei's dorm. As soon as he opened the door, the scene from the opening appeared. He saw the antelope Lu Wei pinning Sun Rong down, and surprisingly, as a carnivore, Sun Rong was powerless. When Sun Rong saw his boss arriving, he called out for help like seeing a savior, /boss, save me, /. At this moment, the big lion, Mu Wei, was also baffled. He asked in confusion, what are you doing, Lu Wei said proudly, how about it? Not bad, right, Still struggling, Sun Rong was held tight by Lu Wei. Lu Wei continued, this guy has a bad sleeping posture at night and always rolls off the bed, so I pushed the beds together on purpose, Sun Rong loudly protested, liar. It's clearly because you wanted a pillow to hug while sleeping. Last night, you hugged my tail all night, watching the two of them tussling on the bed. The big lion also laughed. The big lion also opened up, puffing and puffing, he ran back to his dormitory. Touching his lion head, he said breathily to Zili who was about to sleep, I saw Lu Wei and Sun Rong push their beds together. The little rabbit was stunned, hesitantly saying, isn't that just like sleeping in one bed? The big lion thought to himself, it's actually just one quilt, but it might scare the little bunny. Right there, he made up a grand-sounding excuse, Lu Wei and Sun Rong think it overcomes territorial awareness. Sleeping together is true harmonious coexistence. Shall we do the same? The little rabbit hesitated for a moment and then answered, it's not that it's not okay. The big lion was instantly overjoyed, but the little bunny was still struggling. He felt embarrassed as at night, Lu Wei and Sun Rong slept soundly hugging each other, while on the other side Lu Wei and Zili were too proper. Is there a difference between being sick together and not being sick together? He asked. Our big lion was still somewhat thrilled, after all, Zili was right by his side. He was so nervous that he couldn't sleep at all. He turned his head to sneak a peek at Zili, saw Zili sleeping peacefully, secretly pulled over a corner of Zili's quilt. Zili's quilt had a sweet scent, and our big lion finally entered a sweet dreamland. And our little rabbit, Bailey, was actually not asleep either. He turned his head to look at the big lion, finding the sleeping lion so cute that the little rabbit couldn't help but get closer. Smelling the big lion, the little rabbit found his scent very familiar, yet somewhat different, and gradually, the little rabbit also fell into a deep sleep. Truly, the sight of the big lion sleeping melted his heart. Unexpectedly, the little rabbit and the big lion. The little rabbit was charmed by the big lion's cuteness. The little rabbit, Bailey, sneaked off to the bathroom to finish sewing the carefully prepared gift for the little lion, a cat scratching board. Holding the snail cat scratching board, the little rabbit thought that the big lion, Mu Wei, would definitely love it. The drowsily sleeping big lion stretched out his hand, only to find that the little rabbit was not by his side. He immediately woke up. The little rabbit, having finished the cat scratching board, returned to the bedroom and gently covered the big lion with a blanket. Patting the half-asleep big lion, he softly coaxed, "Be good, I'm here. Go to sleep." Gradually, both of them fell into a deep sleep. The next day, after physical education class, the little rabbit planned to clean up the sports equipment with Mu Wei. But the big lion didn't want the little rabbit to do heavy work, so he let the little rabbit go take a bath first. The little rabbit thought it was fine, and decided to return to the dorm after the bath to prepare a special gift for the big lion, a scratching post, and surprise him upon his return. On the way back to the dorm, an unexpected incident occurred. 3 carnivorous animals stopped the little rabbit and asked Bailey to pick up a football for them. Bailey didn't think much and eagerly helped to pick it up. However, the 3 carnivores then told Bailey to put the football back in the equipment room rack. The kind-hearted little rabbit Bailey was initially startled but then quite happy, because he could now interact normally with the carnivores and felt he was making progress. He joyfully credited all these achievements to the big lion, Mu Wei. While Bailey was in high spirits, the door of the equipment room suddenly slammed shut. Bailey pounded on the door anxiously shouting, "Hey, what's going on? I haven't gone out yet." Outside the door, however, came the mocking voice of a big gray wolf. "Ha, of course it's intentional to lock you in there." Another big gray wolf angrily warned, saying that a mere little rabbit had taken their boss away, and now the boss didn't even seem like a boss anymore. "Be wise and stay away from our boss," he said. Ever since the big lion Mu Wei and the little rabbit Bailey became roommates, he hasn't paid much attention to these loyal little fans anymore, which sparked resentment from the little fans towards the little rabbit. Meanwhile, our kind-hearted little rabbit Bailey was still banging on the door, calling out to the carnivores walking away, trying to explain. "I didn't steal your boss, could there be some misunderstanding? Let's talk it over," but no one responded to him anymore. The little bunny ended up trapped in the equipment room without his phone, unable to contact anyone. Would our kind and lovely little bunny really have to spend the night in there? What kind of situation occurred that made Mu Wei, the leader of the carnivores, willing to lose all dignity and image, sniffing around on the ground like a dog? It turns out that Mu Wei only realized Bailey was missing after he returned to the dormitory. Lu Wei, the antelope, said that they didn't see Bailey in the mixed bath earlier. The lion panicked immediately. If he had returned to the dormitory with Bai Li, nothing would have happened to him. The lion was deeply immersed in self-blame. Meanwhile, Bai Li, who was trapped in the equipment room, was thinking of ways to escape. He stacked many boxes under the window, planning to escape by climbing over them. But poor Bai Li failed again and again. Just when he was about to give up hope, he heard the school's broadcast asking for anyone who sees Bai Li from the mixed class to inform the student council or contact Mu Wei. Bai Li thought that Mu Wei must be worried about not being able to find him, so he gathered his courage and continued to try to escape through the window. As the sun set, Mu Wei was nearly breaking down. He grabbed anyone he saw to ask if they had seen Bai Li. However, so much time had passed, and there was still no trace of Bai Li. After finding out that Lu Wei and Sun Rong had also checked the surveillance footage at the school gate and hadn't seen Bai Li leave the school, the three were at a loss. That was when Mu Wei took out Bai Li's phone and started sniffing it. And then he just lay on the ground, completely disregarding his image, sticking to the ground and sniffing madly. Bai Li's cell phone had Bai Li's scent on it. Mu Wei planned to find Su Li through the scent. A mighty lion, at this moment, actually started acting like a dog regardless of anything. This scene made Mu Wei's little fan brother, Sun Rong, completely unable to accept it. While desperately trying to pull Mu Wei up, Sun Rong shouted, "Boss, I understand you, but it would be more appropriate to let De Huang and Xiao Hei help." However, Mu Wei didn't want to wait even a moment longer, and no matter how hard Sun Rong pulled, he couldn't move Mu Wei. Lu Wei, the antelope, also couldn't stand to see his good brother go crazy like this. He rolled up his sleeves and turned to rush towards the carnivore's dormitory. It must be those carnivores doing. Sun Rong quickly hugged Lu Wei's thigh to stop him, saying, "You're so weak, yet you dare to trouble the carnivores? You'll definitely be." Mu Wei followed the remaining scent of Bai Li and finally found a clue. He grabbed the foot in front of him that had Bai Li's scent. "Boss Lion, why are you here?" The gray wolf whose foot was caught was both shocked and scared. Mu Wei grabbed the gray wolf and said through gritted teeth, "Why do you have Bai Li's scent on you?" In the equipment room, Bai Pair stacked the cardboard boxes high, thinking that with such height, she should be able to climb out the window. However, as soon as Bai Li stepped on the shaky cardboard boxes, the fragile boxes collapsed instantly. Bai Li's whole body uncontrollably fell backward. "Bai Li!" A cry of alarm was heard as the door to the equipment room was pushed open. In the golden glow of the setting sun, a tall figure appeared at the door. Bai Li closed her eyes, thinking that she was definitely going to have a terrible fall. However, the anticipated severe pain did not come.